Hello guys and welcome back to another video of the AI series. In this video we will be learning the step-by-step algorithm of linking JavaScript and the HTML file for our tic-tac-toe game. We will first cover the JavaScript and HTML file canvas basics. Create a folder JavaScript basics. We will also create three basic files, namely the index.html, style.css, and script.js. We will create a HTML basic skeleton first. We have done this in our previous videos. Give index.html file a title as JavaScript basics, and let's link the style.css file to this index.html. We are going to use the relationship as style sheet. Type as text slash css and href as style.css. Now we are going to link the JavaScript file, that is script.js file. We need to link script.js and HTML file. It will be the script tag and it can be placed anywhere within the HTML document. As a best practice, we write them towards the end. This way, HTML and CSS have all their design elements of the web page will run first in the code and then JavaScript with script tag. You will also place a end tag. This is how you link a HTML file with JavaScript file. Now let us understand the step-by-step algorithm for a tic-tac-toe game. If you want the Java fundamentals to be viewed first, you can watch and refer to our other Java basic videos on this channel. Before you start writing any code, it is better to write an algorithm on how you are planning to create it. You will also streamline your program and processes. So, let's write a quick step-by-step algorithm on how our AI tic-tac-toe app will work. First of all, we will be looking at the initial state. When we do this, we first need to check if the box is filled. Also, we need to keep track of what is filled in each box. This information will be used when we check for the winner of the game. So, when someone tries to draw on a square that has a value true, they will get an error alert. We will also be installing another array with blank spaces to again indicate that these squares are empty. Later on, we will be fixing these arrays with X or O. Finally, we will be setting up the winning conditions. What are our winning condition? In the tic-tac-toe game, if you manage to draw 3 consecutive X or O, the respective player will win the game. They can be diagonal, horizontal, or even vertical. If we number the squares from 1 till 9, there are 8 win states that can be defined for a tic-tac-toe game. For example, as you can see in the given diagram, we have boxes 1 to 9. If the player fills the boxes 1 to 3 respectively with the sign of either X or O, then we will reach the win state. The same can be said for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 9, 1, 5, 9, 3, 5, 7. These are the states with which we will see who has won the game, the AI player or the human player. Now, following the code, let's move on to our next step. The next step is drawing the X and O. player 1 is X and player 2 is O. Two players' chances are alternative in the game. We keep track of whose turn it is by incrementing a variable called turn. Every time a player plays, let's say the odd turns are for the player X and the even turns are for the player O. Based on whose turn it is, we use the canvas function, the HTML function, to draw X and O on the boxes. Step 3 will be checking who wins. As you know, there are 8 different winning combinations, and whichever player gets that winning combination first wins. Every time a player finishes their turn, check for the winner is done to find out who wins the match. Also, squares should not allow user to draw on the same game once someone wins. If someone has won and the other player tries to draw on any of the leftover squares, then the app will display another error alert for the player to start the new game. If there is no match found at all after checking all the winning combination, then the game continues as usual. So, corresponding game function will be called at a minimax of 9 times, as there are maximum 9 turns in the tic-tac-toe game. Now let's understand the fourth step. Every time a human player clicks the box, we need to perform a series of tests. First, we need to check if the box is already filled and if it is game over or the game is still continuing. We also need to check if the game is a draw or if the human player wins. This is a function that allows the human player to play our game. Step 5. Checking for the empty box. Every time the AI plays, which is after the human player has made its move, we will be calling the empty box function, which will check which boxes are empty in this particular state. This function is prelude to the minimax function, as based on this, minimax function will draw its tree, because minimax function needs to know which boxes are empty so that corresponding tree options can be created. It will run through all of the boxes and will check which ones are free. It will create an array and fill the index number of the boxes that are free in this particular array. This array will be sent to a minimax function later on. Last but not the least, we are finally ready for step number 6. Step 6. We will come to the meat of everything. We will be creating the minimax and AI player functions. When it is the AI player's turn, we will be calling the play AI function. This function will in turn call the minimax function to check the next optimal move for the player. Minimax function will allow the minimax algorithm to come up with the next best possible value. We have seen the working of the minimax algorithm in our previous video. This function will ensure that the AI player wins or the game is a draw. It will select the best move in such a way that the AI player will never lose. Then the AI player will be asked to make the move, which will be reflected on the screen, which is the actual move. This will be called the winner check function to see if the AI player has won after this move or if the game has ended in a draw. If not, the game will continue as usual. So, these are the steps for creating our app, all with the next move. In the next video, we will convert this algorithm to the actual JavaScript code. Basically, we will translate these English instructions to a code that the browser will understand. With this, we have come to the end of this video. I do hope that you enjoyed and learned a lot from this video. Do follow our AI series. Thank you for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe. Signing off for now, but stay in tuned.